Okay, so weekly recap. I want to go over these things real quick. Being patient, not taking multiple trades a week, being okay with taking one or two trades a week, just staying good with that. One or two good trades a week is even one good trade and one bad trade a week is great. When good risk reward, you'd be stacking bread. Waiting more on the 5 minute. So I've been talking about waiting for a 5 minute confirmation, disrespecting the fair value gap or displacing on the 5 minute, which isn't bad, and I think is good because one, waiting for that allows for the market to be more, just deeper market open, more structure to be formed, and that helps with not trading instantly when the market opens, which I was having a problem with for a minute, entering really early in market open, just within the first 10 minutes when I just clearly there was no A plus setup in the first 10 minutes. So waiting for a 5 minute is good, but I will show something that maybe it wouldn't, because it's not required, I wouldn't say, but it helps. Being okay with letting price go. Well, I'll show an example of that on the trade I didn't take on Friday. Because price went where I thought it was going to go, and I just didn't enter for reasons. And then A plus setups, again on Friday, why I didn't enter. Only entering on A plus setups. Understanding the draw and liquidity, continuing to just understand that is good. And then how 10 a.m. news affects the market. On Friday, we had 10 a.m. news. And something that Justin Merlin said that I remember, and I've kind of noticed this week, is that 10 a.m. news seems to push price where it generally already is going to go. It's not going to affect it too drastically to go somewhere where I wouldn't expect price to be going. It happened last week when I didn't enter Monday, when I had an entry, but it was 5 minutes before the news came out, so I didn't enter, and price was pushed to where I thought it was going to go. And then again on Friday, did the same thing. Well, it didn't push it directly there, but it didn't change market direction, I'd say. And then just again, things I've been good on is not exiting price early out of emotion. I mean, last week I lost three trades. All three trades I took last week I lost. But I let all of them hit. I let all of them hit my stop loss, and kind of emotionless. I watched it, I'm like, okay, I didn't even get down for that long. Even when the single thought of, damn, bad trade, as soon as it entered my mind, instantly I was more excited because I could learn from the mistakes I made. So I'm not exiting price early out of emotion. I'm not entering price this week. I was good. Not entering price early out of FOMO, which is good. Which I was having a problem with, entering way too early in the market open without any structure to really enter on. Okay. I didn't trade Tuesday this week because there's CPI. I don't trade on CPI. Didn't trade when Powell was speaking on, I believe it was Thursday. He was speaking at 8:40 a.m. and there's PPI, unemployment claims, just a lot of not trading that day. I don't trade on any days that Powell speaks. Usually he speaks after market open, but with PPI, unemployment claims, and him speaking before market open, I didn't even get up the charts. Same thing with CPI on Tuesday. Monday, price, I just didn't really find anything. I was just letting price do its thing to enter. Now, I made a video Wednesday. There was a a trade that I really just missed. Like, I take it like it was a mock trade because I wasn't technically in the trade, but I really just missed my entry because I was that's exactly where I was gonna enter, exactly where I was gonna take out my position. It was a good trade, and I'll just go over that real quick. Wednesday, if I have it, I might not have it. Maybe it was on NASDAQ, or maybe I deleted it. Even if I did, it looks like I did. But on Wednesday, just brief recap of what I remember. I would have entered on the 5-minute displacement, drawn liquidity lower, and yeah, I would have followed all my rules. A plus setup would have entered. What I really want to go over is Friday. I'll go over that real quick. So if I just replay a while, we're still bullish. Displaced bullish. Respecting this fair value gap. It's still going up, but we have an SMT. So in bigger time frame, I'm still bullish because we haven't disrespected any bullish period. So I'm very bullish, but what really gave me probably we were going to come down during market open was this SMT, this 4-hour SMT. We had not taken this high on NASDAQ, and we had taken the high up here on ES. So, respecting so the reason why I was bearish because the SMT, we had all these lows, relatively equal lows, low. Same thing over here. An hourly high right here that was swept, and wasn't swept. We even made another SMT. Price didn't come up and sweep this high, but price did come up and sweep this high. So we have two bearish SMTs leading, and we're respecting this fair value gap. Displaced on the 5-minute, just multiple things of why I would have entered. Like how I would have entered this was, price came up, swept this, displaced through this 5-minute fair value gap, displaced, I would have probably entered, I remember thinking about it, entering, right at the, this breaker, or what is it? My bad, not breaker, order block entry, and then I would have put on this candle just this high up here, if it would let me, right there, just that high, which also would have been just this candle's high, this 1-minute candle, and then looking on the 1-minute, we sweep this high, disrespect this 1-minute fair value gap, displace, could have entered on the 1-minute, same model, fair value gap. I could have entered on the 1-minute. This is showing entering on the 1-minute. The entry model is fractal any time frame. I'm still trying to enter on the 1-minute, just waiting for 5-minute confluence. We displaced on the 5-minute, disrespected a 5-minute confluence. Enter. Perfect entry. Perfect entry. Would have looked for, these would have been my take profits, I probably wouldn't have held all the way down here because, again, we're very bullish and probably just look to rebalance and then move higher. And the 10 a.m. news right here, see it push price. We consolidated for a long time. And then then we just came down, took that out. Same thing over here. We eventually did take this low out. But, follow my model liquidity sweep in a draw that I've recognized, draw and liquidity that I've recognized, and then enter. Why, and also SMTs, why I didn't enter, why I was so patient on this, why I really want to focus on this trade is because I didn't enter because we are so bullish on the 4 hour. So bullish on the 4 hour. Haven't disrespected any really PD raise to the we haven't disrespected any bullish PD raise. I mean, even on the hour, we're still respecting this 1 hour fair value gap. So it's just like with this, along with me being very bullish, I just was being very patient to not enter. Would this have been a bad trade? No. Would I have probably entered if we swept liquidity in market open? Another big reason is that, okay, we had 2 SMTs, bearish SMTs. I could see us drawing towards these lows before we go higher. But the liquidity sweep was pre-market. I usually would want to see a liquidity sweep after market open. And then, yeah, that's why I didn't enter, is because I swept this before. I mean, we barely even moved. We didn't even move out on market open on ES to really sweep out anything until we took this out and then moved higher, just like I thought it would. I would have wanted to enter it on Wednesday, but I probably wouldn't. I didn't enter today because there was just too many things that made it just not an A+ setup to me. There's too many things contradicting, making this draw on liquidity maybe not the best to enter on from how bullish we were. That's just being patient, not wanting to enter. I wasn't scared. I was just keeping things in mind. I wasn't scared of missing out on a trade. I was okay with watching price move without me being in it. This is perfect. Pretty much the same thing. If you just look at the entry, 5 minute, same thing on Wednesday. We displaced, disrespected, would have entered, would have been a good trade. But there's just too many contradicting things, unclear of exactly how the market would want to act. Like, were we going to respect this 1 hour fair value gap? We were respecting the 4 hour fair value gap. We displaced on the 4 hour. Are we going to just sweep these lows, respect this 1 hour, and then go for these highs? It was too unclear for me to be fully convinced that we'd want to take these out. But it was a good chance that we would take these out and then go higher. Like if I exit this, that's kind of what we did. We took this out, went up, and then just kind of chopped down. Just this kind of stuff. It's just the draw and liquidity was taken out. I'm getting really good at understanding where price is going to go. And I've been working on my entry. Now I just need to be patient and just wait for my entry. And it's what I want to move into next week and the following week to before I get funded. If I keep trading like this, this really would have been a profitable week if I would have just entered on Wednesday. I just missed my entry. And one thing I'd like to highlight on Wednesday is that I didn't try to just shove an entry like when we already pushed down. I didn't try to enter on a 1 minute fair value gap all the way down there next to the draw and liquidity. I just was okay with missing my entry. And I highlighted on the video of why I could have entered when price returned to the area, why I didn't, and why I probably should have. But yeah, if I keep this up, I will. It's only a matter of time until I'm profitable. And I'd like to say I already am. I already feel profitable with this mindset. This is a profitable mindset. If I keep applying this, then I am going to be profitable. Going into next week, pretty low news. We have Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, no news. Thursday, I believe it's just unemployment claims and flash manufacturing and PMI services or whatever on Thursday, unemployment claims, and then Friday, just new home sales. And then following week, bank holiday on Monday, and then pretty low news for the rest of the week. So next 2 weeks should be pretty clean. I wouldn't be surprised because we're filling in this. We just tapped into, this weekly fair value gap, took this weekly high. Wouldn't be surprised if we kind of consolidate and chop down to fill this area that's still untouched. But I wouldn't want to see, looking at the 4-hour, we still are respecting this 4-hour fair value gap. But we've opened on Sunday, came down here. This low is kind of piquing my eye. We are higher up still. SMT still holds on the 4-hour. We are higher up though on ES. But going into next week for the days, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we filled this area in a little bit. But I only would want to see that happen if we start displacing and disrespecting on the 4-hour, on the 1-hour. Then I'd be more bearish for the week to see that area filled in. And yeah, just be patient. If tomorrow it's looking like I need more price action to form tomorrow before I start looking for an entry, looking to enter on the week, that's fine. We could consolidate tomorrow, and if that happens, then if I don't get a entry, then that's perfectly fine. But if price presents itself and marks all of my boxes for A+ setup, I will enter tomorrow. And that's just the mindset going into next week. And yeah.